Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another stout review. Time for a barrel-aged stout from Farmstead. I'm so excited. This is Genealogy of Morals. And this is a pretty label, barrel-aged Imperial Stout. Imperial Stout brewed with coffee and aged in bourbon barrels. And it says Duver, Rojas, Colombia. So I guess that's the coffee that they used. I was reading this label. It says that they barrel-aged this beer for 29 months, which is insanity. Almost 3 years. And then they conditioned it on coffee, so I'm so excited. The only bummer about this beer is it does not say the ABV. And it also says, please consider sharing. We're going to solo dome this one this evening. Actually, my wife might have some of this, but I don't know. But yeah, 29-month barrel-aged beer. Holy smokes. Beer comes courtesy of my man, Geoff. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for sharing this. Coffee Collective, it says, Farmstead, Greensboro, Vermont. My favorite brewery in the entire world. Farmstead's the GOAT. They just are. So we don't need to argue about it. You can think somebody else is better than them, but they nail every style. I'm excited. This beer is dark. Look at that. We're going right down the middle. There's no head on that. Whew. Is this going to be a big boy beer? It could be. What's the ABV on this? I wish I knew. That head is like pretty much cola, and it's almost gone already. But it is pitch black in the glass. It's already leaving like that film. We're using our Farmstead proper glassware because beer always tastes better in proper glassware. But yeah, it's pitch black in the glass. Brown head, but it's just kind of like a half a finger. It's just kind of like a layer of rocky bubbles. Looks awesome in that glassware. So I'm so excited. I've never had a stout from Farmstead. I've had porters. I've had some barrel-aged saisons, but never a barrel-aged stout. So let's go ahead and shove our nose in this one, see what an almost 3-year-old, I mean, it's aged in bourbon barrels for 29 months. That's such a long time. Like, how do they afford to do that? It's crazy. Shove our nose in it. Fuck. Oh, it's a good thing you can't see underneath this little table area. This smells like if you were to take coffee and make some sort of like brownies and just dump a bunch of bourbon on it. That smells insane. This smells so good. It's coffee. You're getting dark fruits from the coffee. There's so much vanilla. There's a bourbon spirit. It's fudgy. It smells ridiculous. This is so I had this in our wine fridge, and then I just let it sit out for like 2 hours before I drank it. This is room temperature, so I've been talking to people about it. Adjuncty stouts in general, for me, porters, I drink them at room temp. I just think that the aromas and the flavors just pop at room temperature. So if you've never done that, do it. Just check it out, see what you think. Like, this is crazy what this smells like. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Smells like it's a pretty high ABV beer, though. There's not that it's like super boozy, but there's an alcohol aspect to this. So let's go and taste it, Geoff. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, sir. Cheers. Whew. It's really good. Wow. It's crazy because, and I say this with every Farmstead beer that I drink. I'm sure they didn't put the ABV on this label, right? Dang it, they didn't. It'll be interesting to look this up to see what the ABV is, because the nose, you definitely get that bourbon character, that little bit of spirit. And I was like kind of bracing myself. We drank Lost Abbey's Track 10. Was it yesterday? 2 days ago. And that beer was intense. It was hot. It was boozy. Bourbon for days. And not that this gave off that kind of intense bourbon thing, but you could definitely smell the alcohol. You do not taste it. I don't know how Sean Hill does it. He's a fucking wizard. fudgy chocolate coffee, but it doesn't go crazy coffee. Like, you don't get any bitterness from the coffee. Like, coffee stouts are weird for me, and not weird that I love coffee and beers, but there's so many coffee stouts that go over the top bitter. They get acrid. It's just off-putting. This gives you all the flavors of coffee without that bitterness. And I don't know how they do that, because a lot of coffee stouts give off a little bit of bitterness. This gives off no bitterness. There's a vanilla sweetness, almost like a little, like there's some dark fruits in there, and almost like if you ever, I mean, I'm dating myself. I used to go to Candlestick Park as a kid, and I remember sitting in our seats. I remember this one Giants game, just it's seared into my brain. This guy in front of us was smoking a pipe, and I guess you could smoke back then. And like that pipe tobacco smell, you can taste that in this. It's insane. Man, this is so good. Fuck. You get that barrel, there's a little bit of like woodiness, like that kind of charred oak. But yeah, that like pipe tobacco smell is what you're tasting with all that vanilla, coffee, and fudge. This is unreal good. So good. So, I mean, I've now had a barrel-aged stout from Hill Farmstead. I've had saisons. I've had barrel-aged saisons. I've had pale ales. I've had IPAs. I've had imperial, like double IPAs. Like, I've never had an even okay beer from them. All of their beers have been next level, world class. Hill Farmstead's the GOAT. They're the best brewery in the country. There's nothing that Sean Hill can't do. It's just, it's insane. It's fucking crazy. I can't get enough of their beer. I just can't. It's nuts. One of the best barrel-aged coffee beers I've ever had. The only detractor of this beer, not even detractor, like I don't even care at this point because it tastes so good, is it's on the thinner side. It's not one of those big, chewy imperial stouts. But I don't care because the flavors are so good. It kind of makes it easier to drink. But that barrel note, like that kind of woodiness is just drying on the finish. It makes you just want to like chug this, and I know I can't. I'm gonna just sit the rest of the night and sip on this. I might even pour like another beer in between this and just kind of drink that and then come back to this. Like I don't want this I don't want this beer to be gone. It's crazy. So this beer's fire. Geoff, you're fucking amazing for sharing this. I'll leave it at that. So that's Genealogy of Morals from Hill Farmstead. If you guys have never had this beer or one of the variants, I'm sure he does like different releases of this. Seek this out. It's worth your time. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. So that's it. I'm out of here, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. See you very soon. Cheers.
Thank you for coming behind the bar, in the arcade, all that shit.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.